When you're in a creative slump and practicing hand lettering feels completely out of reach, you don't need a list of more things to do. Instead, here's a list of 10 things to quit to get back to a useful hand lettering practice that you are actually excited about. Hello, lettering friend. I'm Sarah from Ensign Insights, and I received this email from a lovely subscriber who said, I would love to see a video about some ways that you have tried to get back into a lettering practice after a hiatus/slump. So, in response to this, let's get into 10 things to quit in your lettering. Number 1, quit creating just for Instagram. Think about creativity as a toolbox. In the toolbox, you have all kinds of tools to help you get creative. Instagram is just one of those tools. There's nothing wrong with a healthy dose of Instagram. But if every time you go on Instagram, you feel bad about yourself or it's not a happy place to be for your lettering, you don't have to be there just because it's the thing to do. It's still there in the toolbox when you're ready for it. Why not do something you love that is filling you up instead of trying to use a tool that's just not working right now? I'm currently not posting on Instagram, and that was really difficult for me because my value was tied to my numbers and I'd been doing it for so long. But I had to let it all go and come back to my creativity and live my life in a way that feels good to me right now. Maybe someday I'll go back to it, but right now this is what I need. And you just have to listen to what you need because it's a really personal choice. If it's hurting your creativity, maybe right now is not the right time to be there. Number 2, quit comparisons. Are you in a creative slump because you don't think you're good enough? Or you think, what's the point because I'll never be as good as so-and-so? Quitting comparisons is easier said than done, and it takes a lot of practice and reminders. But here's one thing that I've learned to be true over and over again. There will always be someone better than you, and there will always be someone worse than you. So comparisons to others can't determine how you feel about your creativity. Instead of focusing on how good or bad your lettering is, maybe focus on the way it makes you feel to create. If it is your creative outlet that helps you get through your crazy life, then it doesn't matter what it looks like. Create anyway because you need it. The way you create right now is exactly where you need to be. Number 3, quit avoiding your hand lettering just because you don't know what to letter. I know that thinking of what to letter can be a huge barrier when you're trying to get back into lettering. It takes time to choose, and if you only have 10 minutes to letter, that whole time could be spent looking up quotes. One easy way around this is to join a lettering challenge. There are lots of lettering challenges on Instagram. If you are choosing not to be on Instagram right now, I also have several past challenges for free in my lettering library. I will leave a link to that below. It's on my website. Another thing that can help is to give yourself limitations, like only lettering with one pen for a month. I've tried this and it actually does help. When I use one kind of pen in the same journal for 30 days, I didn't have to use my energy or time to think about what pens to use. I knew every day what I would letter with. I also like to listen to music and read books, and a lot of times I just like to letter the songs that I'm listening to or the quotes from my current book. So quit avoiding your lettering just because you don't know what to letter. I also have a video of 10 ideas of what to letter. If you are feeling motivated right now and all you need is a list of what to letter, that's a good one to look at. I will link that too. Number 4, quit striving for perfection. Just let it go. Quit trying to make really, really good lettering and art. Just make art. Make bad art if that helps you to get past the pressure. Make as much as you can and don't worry about it being good. I like the quote, where focus goes, energy flows. The more you create, the more you want to create. And you don't get good at lettering by creating perfect lettering. You get good by making a lot of lettering. And a lot of that lettering might be really bad. Show up for your creativity over and over again. You don't have to be the best at something to enjoy it. One practical way to get over this hurdle of perfectionism is to start a hand lettering journal. Use it like a sketchbook where the only goal is to fill it with your creativity. Not to make perfect lettering, just fill it up. Another way to get over perfectionism is to learn something totally new. Put yourself back into the absolute beginner's shoes. Take a new class on Skillshare or find a tutorial on YouTube. When you're a beginner, there's no pressure to be at some top level. You're not going to be good at something when you first start. And feeling that magic of being a beginner can remind you to just create for the fun of creating and not to be perfect. Side note, I'm editing this video right now and I just wanted to add something right here. I am currently feeding my second baby solid foods and I don't remember it being this hard with my first. So I bought the Feeding Littles course and I just had to say right here that I am feeling really uncomfortable being a beginner. And sometimes it feels like this magic space to be in a beginner place. And other times it's just really uncomfortable. And I'm saying this to you and to myself, it will get easier. So give yourself some grace. Number 5, quit forcing yourself to practice what you think you should or what someone tells you to. If you enjoy tracing the basic strokes over and over, you should do that. And if you want to learn a very specific font, tracing can be a great way to practice that. But if tracing worksheets doesn't sound fun to you, you don't have to practice that way. Let go of that pressure. You don't have to practice anything that you don't want to. Your lettering is for you first. There was a time when I thought it was so important to practice at least 10 minutes a day no matter what. And I still do believe that you learn by doing a little by little. 10 minutes really does add up. But there are times when you need something else besides actual lettering practice, like sleep or going for a walk. As I've stopped forcing myself to practice, I've realized that sometimes on a walk, I'll see something that inspires an idea. And that's definitely part of a good handlettering practice, even if you're not actively sitting at your desk with your pens. Living your life can actually inspire you in your lettering, so don't force yourself to practice. Use your time to practice something that you're really excited about, not what you think you should practice. And spend some time enjoying your life, because that can inspire your hand lettering. Number 6, quit hoarding pens that you don't use or don't like. Do you ever get overwhelmed by the amount of pens you have and how to keep them all organized? Does it sometimes feel impossible to be able to letter with all the pens you have? If you're like me, you've accumulated quite the collection over the years. But here's the thing, there are way too many pens out there to be using ones that don't make you really happy. You've maybe seen some of my decluttering videos over the years, and the truth is, I had so many pens that realistically, I couldn't use all of them, unless maybe I had endless time and never needed to eat or sleep. As I've started to let go of some, I'll say, use it up or give it a new life. The pens are happier to be used, at least I like to think so anyway. And I still have so many pens that honestly, I don't even remember the ones that I decluttered. So what about the pens that are really popular on Instagram and you think you should like them, so you keep them, but you don't actually like them? Well, you don't have to like all the pens. In fact, you won't like all of them. Get curious about which ones feel good with your style. It's okay to try new pens. I get really excited to try new pens. But we don't need our drawers overflowing with pens to be able to make good art. When we declutter the things that we aren't using anymore, we make room for something new. We have more space to feel creative and start fresh. This is especially helpful in times of burnout when we really need a fresh start. Number 7, quit holding your brush pen wrong. I'm not talking about how your fingers are wrapped around the pen. That doesn't matter as long as it feels comfortable to you. I'm talking about the pen in relation to the paper and your letters. You want about a 45-degree angle from your pen to the paper so you can get the full thickness of the brush stroke. And the other thing is that your pen should be perpendicular to your downstroke. So choose the angle of your downstroke and make your pen perpendicular. That means the line of your pen going straight out from your pen would cross over the downstroke like a T, as opposed to a different angle, because this will mess up your thick to thin transition. And I have a whole video about this. I'll link to it here if you want to learn more. And number 8, quit trying to hand letter just like everyone else. When you first start lettering, it is good to learn from one person as you're developing the basic skills and figuring out how to use a brush pen. And after that, you can get inspired from different people and take bits and pieces of what you like to make it your own. There is power in doing something because you like it, even when you don't know if others will like it. When I started, there was one person that I thought was the perfect hand letterer, and I wanted nothing more than to be exactly like her. I learned a lot by trying to letter like her, and it really did help me improve. But things got so much better when I was able to appreciate her style because it's beautiful and it's hers. And I could start to learn from multiple people without feeling the need to be just like them. I was finding the things that were unique to me. If you are doing a certain calligraphy font, then you will learn that exact font. But when it comes to hand lettering, you get to make it your own. It doesn't need to look like anyone else. Number 9, quit lettering. Yep, I said that. And hear me out. One of the things that can lead to burnout or a creative slump is a big life change. Having a baby, moving, getting a new job, family changes. These all take a lot of time and energy, so we have less time and energy to devote to sitting down and formally creating. During certain life changes, having a hand lettering practice can feel like stability, so you should keep doing it. And during other changes, it might feel like an extra chore we have to check off the list. If that's how it feels, just let it go for a little bit. It will be there when you're ready. Realize that you are creating in literally every aspect of your life, using your creative muscles in other areas of your life, like cooking and activities with your kids, the way you organize your home or the way you talk with people. All of that improves your creativity in your hand lettering. So basically what I'm saying is that living your life is an important aspect of your hand lettering practice. So even if you aren't spending time practicing the technical skills of hand lettering, it is possible you are still getting better at lettering because your everyday life might be inspiring you with ideas for when you're ready to get back into it. And you can always practice creativity in your everyday life. Number 10, quit not knowing the 3 basic rules. When you know these basic rules, your lettering will improve quickly, even as a beginner. And then you can start breaking these rules intentionally. Just like Picasso said, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. The 3 rules are angle, space, and size. Your angle should be the same throughout your word. The spacing should be the same. And the size of your letters should be the same. When you start breaking these rules, you can do things like bounce lettering as you're changing up the size of each of your letters, and you break them in a way that shows that you know what you're doing. If you've never heard of these 3 basic rules, watch this video right here. I go into a lot more detail about that. If you made it all the way to the end, I wanted to add a little bonus tip. Look back at your lettering often and see how far you've come. The video clips I used here were all older videos. I can see how far I've come over the years as I start coming out of my own burnout and get back into a hand lettering practice.